It's common knowledge at this point that the 3DS, especially after modding it, can transform into a handheld system that rivals even modern day releases. You get retro emulation, game streaming, dumping your own games, homebrew apps, custom themes. The 3DS will just forever be the Waffle House of handheld gaming because it's just always there for you when you need it, even in the darkest times. I've gotten so many comments of people who are like, dude, I didn't even buy a Steam Deck or a Switch 2. I just bought a 3DS because I think it's better than everything else that's out right now. And this whole system alongside the DS is about to be reborn and enter into a brand new golden age. We're looking at devices on the horizon right now that might even rival, if not overshadow, the 3DS itself. And even if you're not a fan of emulation and you just like the original hardware, the existence and the arrival of these dual screen handhelds will actually boost up and benefit the 3DS community, in my opinion, more than ever. So we're going to unpack all of that today, the new devices coming out, the accessories, the dual screen handhelds, and why the 3DS is about to jump right back into the spotlight. And it all starts with this beautiful little red clamshell. But wait, do you see this ugly blank wall behind the 3DS right now and how lifeless it is? Let's go ahead and fix that. Big thank you to Displate for sponsoring this video. These guys make high quality metal posters for basically anything you can imagine. I picked out some Streets of Rage posters for this video specifically, but they also had the Revenge of Shinobi, which is a cover art for the Sega Genesis game. And I love this so much because it's so creepy looking. This one in particular does have the textura effect to it, and it's actually pretty sick because it makes the metal not completely flat and it adds this three-dimensional look to it. But the best part about these is just the fact that you don't have to screw anything into the wall. It's literally just stickers. I'm living at my grandma's house right now, and I don't plan on staying here forever, so the less that I can use nails and drill into the wall, the better. And even my grandma was vibing with these things.
Oh my gosh. 1991.
And if you're interested in these, you can actually get a huge discount with my code isaacOS, or just click on the affiliate link in the description below and you can get up to like 33% off. This was awesome. And again, just thank you to Displate for sponsoring the video. So yes, the 3DS objectively is one of Nintendo's finest consoles and handhelds of all time, but it kind of makes everybody wonder then, why do we even need an emulation machine if the original hardware is so good? The most notable and obvious areas of needed improvement are the screens and then the processing power on this beautiful chunky bad boy. I've consistently trashed the 3DS top screen in the past like 5 videos. This top screen is like the orange LaCroix equivalent to a Fanta. It is so weak and it's not even showing you colors. It's like whispering the colors into your eyeballs. Most of these are TN panels and it's the one that's on my 3DS, but even with an IPS screen, it's not going to make that much of a difference. You might get better viewing angles, but it's still just going to be rough. Weirdly enough, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for the 3DS. I was just transitioning into PC gaming and starting to play Team Fortress 2 for like 8 hours a day on my crappy family PC that could barely even run the game. So at that time, I was shifting my taste a little bit from this horrible 3DS top screen into Team Fortress 2 and getting called slurs. Now, my hatred for this top screen might just be me projecting the lack of a father figure that I had growing up throughout my childhood. I actually just reconnected with my dad for the first time in like 17 years, so I do recommend forgiveness and actually trying to... Why am I talking about this? The processing power on this thing, while manageable, is still not the best. It did get a little bit of an upgrade whenever it came to the newer 3DS, but even that was just, you know, a drop in the bucket compared to what we should have gotten, in my opinion. And Nintendo, especially during this era with the Wii U, the 3DS, the Wii, even the GameCube, I believe. I'm wrong, don't listen to me, the GameCube was actually pretty powerful. We're just underpowering their systems and basically putting out very outdated hardware even for 2011. And that's a shame to me because the 3DS has one of the most beautiful game libraries that I've ever seen. Some of these things, whenever you upscale them, look so good. Like if you look at Omega Sapphire upscaled to a higher quality, it is incredible, and it makes me actually like 3D Pokemon for the first time ever. And you can do this with so many other games for the 3DS that make it look just juicy, and this is why, man, we need some type of emulator. And the community for the past 6 years has just been begging on their knees, man, for please just give us a dual screen handheld that's affordable and not $1,200. And it has finally happened. The war of the dual screens is upon us. Now, the first wave of dual screen handhelds that was reasonably priced was actually not even a handheld itself, and it's been the accessory that Retroid just dropped called the dual screen add-on. This is exactly what the name says. It's just a second monitor that you can plug into your Android handheld, and it specifically was designed for the Retroid Pocket systems. And to me, this is the most friendly way for anybody to dip their toes into dual screen gaming if it's something that they don't particularly want a dedicated device for. For starters, this thing is just an accessory and a relatively cheaper one at that. Retroid dropped this thing for about $70 before shipping and taxes, which to me is decently priced, but you of course have to consider the fact that you would have to buy a Retroid device alongside this if you're trying to pair it up, but I'm assuming you already have one if you're buying this. I pre-ordered this thing, but it's been delayed like crazy, and Retroid don't ship me any products for review because my channel's just too small right now, so I'm just sitting on the sideline watching Retro Gamecore and Tech Dweeb have all the fun with the dual screen gaming. From what I've seen and what we've heard, the hardware itself is pretty straightforward. It's basically just another 5.5-inch 1080p OLED screen. It's the same panel that was used in the RP5, but it's actually a clip-on hinge and something that's powered through USB-C. It does seem like a steal and a solid Frankenstein option if you want to add an extra screen to a handheld, but there have been some problems, at least within the videos that have aired about this thing. There's a lot of input latency whenever it comes to using the dual screen add-on, and Retroid have actually addressed this problem, and they've stated that they're going to be dishing out an over-the-air update for the device and also shipping out newer products for the dual screen with the fix already implemented that will basically eradicate any delay that you would find. I really like the way this thing looks with the Retroid Mini V2, and I think it actually fits like a glove whenever you close the screen, and it looks like it's actually designed for the V2 because the bottom screen is smaller and then the top screen is a wide screen, so it does actually look more like a 3DS, at least whenever you add the attachment. Okay, wait, I'm editing this video. This is my editing camera, and Retroid have actually fixed the input lag, but they've also swapped the cables. So now it's got this really butt ugly cord that's super long and popping out, and it was already kind of ugly before with the original cable, but now it's just even worse, and I'm just sad. And this does change a lot of things now because I thought this was a great recommendation, but it's just so ugly with the cord, so I don't know. It's just, I am sad. And truthfully, when I saw Retroid announce the dual screen add-on, this is what I thought was going to happen. Ambernick, Ayn, every other retro handheld company would just start selling their own little edition, and for the next year or two, we would just get weird dog fights between who can actually create the better accessory. But this era is quickly coming to an end, and that's because, ladies and gentlemen, our prayers for a proper, affordable dual screen handheld have been answered, and Ayn have decided to just drop something that ironically rhymes with the words I'm poor. The Ayn Thor is a dual screen dedicated device that is essentially the younger brother now of the 3DS. It's like the 3DS grew up and saw I don't know why I want to make like a pregnancy joke here. Just looking at these renders and these IRL photos from Ayn, while it is marketing and obviously sugar-coated a little bit to look nicer than it probably does in person, if we even get a fraction of this in our hands, I'm going to be so happy because I don't think I could have imagined a better looking device to recreate and propel the 3DS back into the modern era. The specs match the aesthetics too. Dual screen OLED panels. Top screen is 120 Hz refresh rate, which means we can incorporate BFI with older retro systems, so it's not just great for only 3DS. The bottom screen is also an OLED, by the way, which I did mention, but that's just crazy. I expected maybe the top to be OLED, the bottom would be LCD, but no, they're giving everything here with this device. The funniest part about all of this is just a few weeks ago, we saw the Neo pricing of the newer DS model that they're coming out with, and it's actually lower price than what they've done in the past, so people were like, oh, hey, maybe we're gonna get a dual screen eventually. And then boom, out of nowhere, here comes the Thor to just save all of us. And the pricing, while expensive, I think is incredibly reasonable, and I expected this to cost even more with that base model, which is going to get you through the door running. So you can get this device now for $250, which to me, like I said, it's still expensive. I wouldn't call this super affordable by any means, but I would say it's priced accurately, which is in this economy kind of difficult to come by a company that isn't just trying to upsell you like crazy. However, there's going to be taxes, tariffs, so maybe we're all just not even going to buy this. But let me wipe off this 3DS a little bit here because I've just been talking about it too well. There's going to be problems when it comes to any device in the retro handheld space, and especially from all of these companies. You never know what you're going to get. The first thing that really annoyed me about this device is that Ayn, and they've historically done this, have put different colors behind different price points, which is the dumbest thing on the planet. So if you want to get a rainbow color or the purple or whatever it is, it's so dumb. These devices, including the Retroid dual screen add-on and Neo's DSs, also don't give you the 3D effect that comes with the original hardware. So if you're one of those freaks who slides on the 3D effect, then you're probably not going to enjoy these things because it's just going to be a flat image. However, it will at least look good and have deep colors and be upscaled. I have an urge to throw shade against people who like using the 3D slider, but I actually do enjoy the 3D slider on the original. The only problem is that it gives me a headache. I would use it if I could, but it quite literally makes my eyes bleed. In other news, Nintendo have filed for a new patent on this dual screen looking thingamajig. I don't even know what this is. It looks kind of ridiculous, but there is speculation that maybe they're creating this patent so that they can sue the life out of all of these companies that are creating DS and 3DS models. But then again, everybody we've mentioned so far has been based out of China, so I don't know how the legality works there. Maybe Nintendo is just going to start going after YouTubers again like they did with Retro Game Core. I don't encourage illegal downloads or any piracy of any kind. Please let me keep my silly little YouTube channel. Now, what does this mean for the actual original 3DS and the community? If you're somebody who doesn't care about emulation but just loves the 3DS in general, if that's the case, then I believe firmly that the addition of these 3DS and DS handhelds is going to do nothing but boost and uplift the 3DS community as a whole, because now the spotlight is back on not only the 3DS but the incredible game library. All this is doing is just giving fans more options to enjoy the system and dive back into the catalog, and maybe that'll take some of the heat off of the listings on eBay, because if you're trying to buy a new 3DS right now, the prices have been inflating like crazy, and it's probably due to these stupid YouTubers who keep making goofy videos on the devices encouraging people to buy them. And I say we boycott all of these YouTubers. Now, I don't think it's going to change everything and the price of a 3DS is going to tank like housing in 2008, but I do believe that this will just add to the options that the 3DS and DS community have, which before this was so limited. It's just such a big release for gaming handhelds in general. I've seen so many people, so many comments asking about playing DS games and the best way to play 3DS, and everybody's just like, dude, just play the original hardware. We don't have any options. We're just asking for spare crumbs out here. And now it seems like out of nowhere, it's just everybody's jumping on the 3DS and the DS bandwagon, and these companies are giving us more options than ever before. It's such a huge moment for the 3DS and the DS, and I know for a fact that this is going to be one of those devices that really hits the mainstream, similar to something like the Retroid Pocket 5. I feel like that one got a lot of attention, and this is going to do nothing but propel gaming handhelds more into the spotlight and give all of us just a better time with the games that we love. Now, I do not recommend that anyone who is interested in these goofy little toys for grown adults to actually buy them and bite the bullet unless you're willing to accept the risk that comes along with them. There's always some type of weird issue with the first wave of handhelds, especially if it's a newer form factor. We've never seen a dedicated dual screen device that's this affordable and trying to appeal to the normal consumer. And even that, I don't think necessarily a $250 handheld is for a normal person, but for freaks like myself who want to spend their hard-earned money on handhelds, this is for us. I've noticed so much FOMO too from people who just bought the Flip 2, or maybe they just bought the RG477M and have spent a hefty amount of money on something, feeling very bad because we're all excited about the brand new shiny toy. But I would like to just throw an anchor down and remind everybody that yes, this new device is exciting and it's going to be shiny for quite some time, but the best handheld is the one that you already own. You do not need to give in to all of this consumerism. But with that being said, since I own this goofy YouTube channel and I've decided to sink thousands of hours into editing these videos, it's a tax write-off for me, so you know I'm gonna buy it. I say this all the time. I'm only able to buy these handhelds because I have this channel. I'm getting some ad revenue. We've got sponsors now coming in, which is a huge relief here because these handhelds are expensive. You know, YouTube doesn't really pay super well, and thankfully, I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to try and invest things back into the channel because I've got people who watch. So if you're here, I'm only able to do this because of you, so thank you so much. And on that note, we're actually approaching 25K, which is kind of bonkers to me that it's happened this fast. I started this channel in December of 2024, and now that we're approaching almost a quarter of 100,000, I'm just super grateful, and I want to ask if there's any improvements, any feedback. I just want to serve any viewers who are here to watch the channel and enjoy the stuff that I make. If there's any way that I can make these videos better, if there's things that you like, things that you don't like, please leave a comment below. I literally read everything, and I'm just trying to, like I said, serve as much as I can with these videos. This is shaping up to be one of my favorite years of handheld gaming. We've just seen so many amazing products. Companies have been 1v1ing each other in the ring for new prices, for lower drops, for faster drops, for other accessories. It is a wild jungle to be involved in, and I'm just hoping that this dual screen handheld can live up to the years of anticipation that I've had for a 3DS device.
I wanna touch the things you feel, I wanna feel the things you touch. I wanna stay right here forever, still I feel that's not enough. I wanna love the things you see, I wanna see the